Hello everyone, Tim Game here, and today I have the pleasure of bringing you a PS4 discussion video because Sony last night had a press conference and they announced the PS4, and there are some pretty cool things I wanted to talk to you about it. But before I get into that, I just want to quickly mention the gameplay. This is a pretty sweet Chicom hardpoint gameplay on the map Yemen, and I haven't really given the Chicom a try before. You know, I tried it briefly and didn't really like it, but I decided to give it another go, and I have to say, it's growing on me, because if you get that burst rate correct, you can absolutely spray guys down. But today I wanted to talk about the PS4, and I have to say, I was pretty impressed with the press conference last night, because I'm going to be brutally honest, I was fully expecting the next generation of consoles to be a little bit underwhelming, a little bit disappointing, and I was going to save up and get a gaming PC because, you know, after 8 years in this console generation, you can really see that they're struggling to eke every last ounce of power out of these things. So I wanted to step up, and I was considering just going, right, I'll go and buy a gaming PC. However, after watching Sony's press conference yesterday, I am so torn now, because to me it looked absolutely fantastic, and I know people were saying, oh, but you didn't even see the console, and does that even matter? All the PS4 is a box with PS4 written on it. How it looks is completely irrelevant. It's what it does is important, and everything I saw there got me very excited and interested. And, you know, just a couple of highlights off the top of my head, because if I was, you know, going to analyse every last bit of the presentation, I'd be here for hours. But the things that really jumped out at me was the ability to spectate all of your friends. So if a friend is playing a game and you're considering buying it, you can watch him play it, and if you both have that game and he's struggling on it, you can jump in and help him. I thought just that, for the social aspect, was a great step. And then even better than this, you can now buy a game. You can buy a game in the store and play it just as soon as you click buy, and it will immediately load the first minute of gameplay, and it will continue to download it in the background. And the reason why it can do this is because it now has a secondary chip which uses all of its time to download and to manage files and all of that sort of stuff, so the core processor can focus on game processing, which is exactly what you want it to do. So you can download games in the background when you're playing with no interruption. And building on that, you can actually download stuff when the console's on standby, which I thought was absolutely fantastic. Also, if you put the console in standby, it will freeze the game exactly where you've left it, and then when you load it back up, boom, you're ready to go again. And it was just great feature after great feature. They have really improved the interface, because, you know, the one major complaint I have with both consoles, to be fair, is that the user interface is the clunkiest thing it could possibly be. I have a friend who hasn't really played much console games in the past, and I gave him the PS3 controller and I said, oh, just go and play FIFA. And it took him about a minute of going around trying to find out where the game was. You know, if you were a new person diving into that, you would have absolutely no idea where you were going. And exactly the same with the Xbox. You know, Xbox have released a new update as well on the user interface, and I still think it looks a bit too clunky. So I have to say, the new improved interface of the PS4 is a big step in the right direction. It all looked very clear, simple, and it looked nicely presented, which I have to say the PS3 one doesn't look that great. So that was a nice step in the right direction. However, for me, the most exciting part of the night was getting to see some of the developers they called up on stage. And for me, Bungie and Blizzard were just absolutely incredible to see working with Sony, because Blizzard hasn't done anything on consoles for ages and ages. And I know Diablo 3 isn't exactly their most popular game, and it had loads of problems, but just to see Blizzard working with Sony on a PlayStation 4, that is really exciting, because they've got so much stuff and so much they could bring to the console scene. So I'm absolutely delighted to see them working with Sony. However, it gets even better than that, because Bungie, an Xbox exclusive games developer who've only done stuff for Xbox for years and years, to have these guys come across and do a game for the PS4 is going to be pretty awesome as well. And Destiny looked really cool, even though we haven't heard too much about it, and there's, you know, it's mostly just you know, still images. I like the idea. I like the idea of where they're going with that, and hopefully that'll be a cool game as well. So Bungie was awesome, but it was great to see Activision up there as well, because Activision have been really heavily in bed with Microsoft for a good while now, and any of you guys who follow the Call of Duty series know that because they get the DLC earlier and all that sort of jazz. So for me, to see Activision up there, Bungie, Blizzard, the fact that these guys are now getting on board with Sony is a great thing, because all of those developers 5 or 6 years ago, you would never have thought they would have done anything with Sony. So I'm pretty delighted to see that. And as for all the other games, you know, Killzone looked fantastic. The Witness looked like a really interesting puzzle game as well. So straight off the bat there, got a great AAA release title. We've got another interesting puzzle game that we haven't seen before, and that looks pretty exciting. That. So I have to say, Sony, well done on the press conference. You know, you had a bit of criticism, but in my eyes, you did it really, really well. You showed what the PS4 could do. I mean, the facial animations that were shown in the presentation were just exceptional. It showed the graphics, showed the performance, showed all of these developers really getting on board with the PS4, and that's the thing that really excites me. If these developers who Sony have never had on board before, if they are that excited and that confident in the platform to jump across from Xbox or to jump on the console first time, that gives me a huge amount of faith in the platform. But anyway guys, this was just my very, very quick overview on the press conference. I didn't want to spend 4 hours talking about it, but if you guys do want to hear more on what I have to say, leave a comment and I quite happily do a follow-up video on this talking about specifics. But I just wanted to get a quicker video out today to really get across that I was pretty impressed with their press conference yesterday. So if you want to leave a comment and tell me what you thought, your best bits, your worst bits, what do you think of the new controller, all of that sort of stuff, I'd be delighted to hear what you think. But guys, once again, thanks for watching. I really hope you've enjoyed it, and as always, have a great day.